and it found space in the State of the Nation address after that fiasco at the just ended AFCON in Ivory Coast. And Fentuo, Tahiru Fentuo, will do justice to that for us here on Newsfile. And we heard the president. He talks about scouting, grooming, and developing talent at the districts and grassroots levels under a presidential policy on football to be unveiled as part of rescuing our football, and then also build regional and national juvenile teams for boys and girls. And GFA and the National Ministry of Youth and Sports will be collaborating on that. But really, Fentuo, thank you so much for joining us. Really, didn't we know about this scouting and grooming and developing talent? Is it a new thing such that we are going to put it under a presidential policy on football?
Thank you, MFA. My opinion is that I don't think that it's absolutely needed at all. I think it is a redundant policy that will serve no purpose whatsoever. We have current structures that we have neglected and trying to create new ones. So if you take the development of football at grassroots level, for example, we've had a template that worked for us just a few years ago. You have a whole national sports college that was built in 1984 for this exact purpose, which was to groom and scout for talent at the district level, regional level, and bring all of them together at one school to continue to groom them. And that was not even just about only football alone. And I'm talking about the National Sports College in Winneba. Successive governments have left it to rot. It's now become a hostel facility for students at the University of Education Winneba campus. Some of the facilities are being rented out to private individuals, and everybody has turned a blind eye to that particular facility. But really, that was the purpose of that. So this regional, we still play inter-school sport at primary school level, at JSS level, at the secondary school level. And what used to happen and should be happening is this, that when you play the primary school, inter schools, you select the best players from all the regions and bring them to the National Sports College in Winneba, and they form the under-12 team. Then you play the JSS competition, you bring them, they form the under-15 team. Then the secondary school competition, you bring the best players to Winneba Sports College, and then they form the under-17 team. And it's a school, so they continue to go to school there, and then they continue to train. And this is not just football, because it has 8 tennis courts, it has badminton court, it has boxing gym, it has everything. We built that for that exact purpose. But everybody has completely neglected it and left it to rot, and now we want to create new things. And for me, that's probably the biggest issue with us and our approach to sports development. It's almost as if that we just keep creating new things and nobody actually cares about the existing infrastructure. And my opinion is that there is a lot of infrastructure that is capable of addressing maybe 80 to 90% of our problems. You take, for example, one of the things that the president mentioned. He said the government has constructed over 150 astroturfs across the country. Yeah. And he's right. Those astroturfs exist across the country, but it appears that the construction of those astroturfs was not born out of any clear-cut policy direction. It was almost as if it was a fever that caught up with many people and then spread like a pandemic. So then every MP basically wanted to have one in their constituency for many reasons other than football, because a lot of these that now serve as social gathering grounds for funerals, for weddings. But the football itself, and recently, in fact, 2 days ago, Asamoah Gyan, who is on the
Manifesto Committee,
exactly, on Twitter, to criticize the conversion of a lot of these community parks into astroturfs. And the reason he did that is because we have spoken about this a lot. Because these astroturfs that they've constructed are not meant for football, or they defeat the entire purpose of football development for 2 reasons. Reason number one is that 90% of these astroturfs built across the country are not football standard pitches. Okay. So you note that very few of them can actually host professional football. Okay. So it's a problem. So they exist, but we can't even use them to play football the way we want to. And then the reason number two, which is a really big reason, is that you notice that a lot of these AstroTurfs also do not meet the international standards for actually playing football. And they have been proven to cause injuries at a younger age, mostly because AstroTurfs that we have across the country are 2G, and these ones are not installed with shock absorbers. So then when you're stepping on the AstroTurfs, it's almost as if, it's bad for your knees. So there is that as well. And for me, I think one of the things that we need to do going forward, we need to bring all of these things under a coordinated effort so that every single facility we are putting out is serving a purpose. One of the biggest dangers that we have right now, MFA, is that in this country, we do not currently have a single sports stadium that is capable of hosting a Class A match when it comes to the Confederation of African Football or even FIFA. So the Baba Sports Stadium, which has been hosting games recently, has had to go through a lot of compromise. So authorities have had to compromise a lot for that facility to host matches. So we have a big impending problem where in a couple of years, they will stop compromising if we don't actually go back to the drawing board.
The problem with football is not just on the field of play. It appears that all the ingredients needed
Yes, so basically the results that we have seen.
But is there hope? Is there hope really? I know maybe for the female team there is really hope. At least we've seen their performance. But really, when it comes to football at that level, when it comes to the Black Stars amongst others, should we still be putting our hearts in there? Is there really hope in salvaging the situation?
Of course there's hope. Without hope, we basically will just give up on everything. There is hope, but I think that the president mentions, he spent 11 paragraphs on sport, spent one of it on the Black Queens. And then the irony is that in that one paragraph he spent on the Black Queens, he spent it lamenting the lack of attention that the Black Queens have received.
And I was hoping he would give us a solution to that and say that on authority something is going to change.
Exactly. And recently we've had to clamor for them to be paid their bonuses.
Yeah.
But I think that the structures exist. We just need to recommit into the sports at the grassroots level and do this one important thing: stop the over-monetization of the senior national team. I think that is the root of our problems. We need to focus on grassroots development. And for me, I think the structures exist. We need to fix the Winneba Sports College and then start to get our players there as well. We've had good players come out of that system. The Essence, Lai Kinsing, Samuel Inkums, all of them came out of that system. It's been proven to work. We can make it work again.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Fentuo, Tahiru Fentuo, tackling the area of sport.